You've probably never heard of this. It's by a company called Carlisle Nutritionals, if I can face the camera there. I haven't been sponsored. They have no idea I'm making this, and there are no affiliate links for you to go and buy it with a special Dr. Abs discount code. And for many reasons, I think this is the best protein powder money can buy out of all the ones I've tried so far over many, many years, which is probably a few dozen in total. And here's why, as well as the downsides to it as well. The most amazing thing about this is the fact that when you look at the supplement facts panel, which is somewhere over here, you see massive lists that go on in tiny writing, and you have to squint to read what's actually there. But here, I was so amazed to find the absolute smallest ingredient list I have ever seen in a protein powder. There are literally just 2 ingredients in the entire thing. I'm going to put this down. 1 is the protein itself, and 2 is an emulsifier to keep it all together. Now, the emulsifier, I'm not a fan of, but I'll get to that later on because it's important for you to understand. The protein I just mentioned in the ingredient list is grass-fed whey, and we all know that's better for both us and the cow. And I think whey has one of the highest bioavailabilities out there of any protein. These cows are raised on New Zealand pastures with no hormone treatment. It's soy-free because who wants disruption to their endocrine system? It's also gluten-free, sugar-free, wheat-free, artificial color-free, artificial sweetener-free, and I think preservative-free as well. This particular one I use is unflavored, which is why it has basically nothing but protein in it. You might be surprised how hard it is to find a protein that doesn't have sucralose in it nowadays. Beyond that, let's work through it all, and hopefully you'll learn some new things about how to judge a protein powder for yourself. Take a look at how big each scoop is, and then calculate how much of that is protein. So 33 grams of protein in a 44 gram scoop is what we have here. That makes it a WPC 75. So a 75% protein content in the scoop isn't too bad. You can get WPC 80, and then you're into WPI beyond that as you go towards 90%. WPC is whey protein concentrate, and WPI is whey protein isolate. The difference is mainly the protein content by weight in the scoop. Now, that's not enough though. You also need to look at how much of that protein is branched chain amino acids. Most brands don't give you that or give you the breakdown of the amino acid profile. But here, obviously they do. It's about 7.5 grams BCAAs out of 33 grams protein. And if you look on the back, there's the entire amino acid profile breakdown of what's in it. Obviously, it's going to vary slightly batch by batch, but it's impressive that someone has actually gone to that trouble. The taste is pretty much non-existent. I know some of you may want something sweet, but you know what? To be honest, if you can't have protein without it tasting like sugar, then you should be more worried about your sugar cravings than protein supplement, really. When I take it, I'm currently taking it with whole milk, and literally all I can taste is milk. It's brilliant. The mixability is amazing too. I've never, ever had clumps come up. I get a smooth mix every single time. But to give you context on that, I use one of those shaker cups which has a motor in the bottom to mix everything inside at the touch of a button. So it has no taste to indicate, or to incite, I should say, any boredom over time. It's grass-fed. It's high protein whey, it's got a good amount of BCAAs, it's sugar-free, it's general nasty stuff-free, it has the cleanest ingredient list I think you'll ever find, perfect mix every time with no clumps, very, very transparent label, full amino acid profile breakdown, and it's even GMP certified, which is good manufacturing practice. Now for the bad stuff in this though. The carbohydrate content, which is on the supplement facts panel there, is 4 grams, which some of you may not be a fan of. It does have sunflower lecithin as the emulsifier, which I believe has unsaturated fatty acids. And in general, I don't think those are things you should be putting in yourself. I'm sure you already know how toxic seed oils can be. And it's relatively expensive at roughly $85 for that particular tub I showed you. However, here's the perspective I have on these negatives. Firstly, for a good protein powder, that's the price range you should be paying, I think, in order to get a good quality powder. Secondly, the sunflower lecithin, which is the emulsifier, As much as I'm not a fan of it, when I look at all the other qualities I've listed, those positive points are far heavier in total than this negative point. I did email the manufacturer to ask how much lecithin is in there, but unfortunately they didn't want to tell me. That's the one stain on me for this whole thing. But I think realistically, I'm not going to find a cleaner protein on the market than this. And it's important that you understand why I take it, even with sunflower lecithin inside, by seeing where it fits into my life. Do I recommend buying this? No. I recommend you get everything you need from real food. But if you can't, then something like this can be appropriate. For example, I take this with me when I travel. I'm usually in about 3 or 4 different countries every month, and sometimes because of time zones, I'm awake when only McDonald's is open. In a situation like that, I'd rather have this powder with me with a tiny amount of sunflower lecithin than a Big Mac that's full of whatever's in it. So my perspective on supplements like this is that it's something relative. Real food is always better, in my opinion, and it's what our bodies are designed to have. But sometimes this is the best option when you don't have any real food around you or you can't trust the food. I'm really interested, though, in finding out if you guys have ever found a protein cleaner than just 2 ingredients. So if you have, please comment down below and I would love to try and review that one as well.